Hello, welcome to a reading vlog, a 24-hour reading vlog. I feel like I haven't done one of these in a while, but I'm doing a 24-hour readathon today. It is 1:45 at the moment. I have my stack of books ready to go. I'm being fairly ambitious, I think. It's this stack. I'm not going to tell you what they are yet, in case I don't do it. But this is the stack. The one I'm going to be starting with at midnight is Bitter by Jadeyraereads. I loved Pet when I read that, and have not yet read this. So this is what I'm going to be starting with. I'm not planning on staying up all night, but I do want to stay up kind of late. And just really give my reading a boost this month, because I feel like I haven't read a lot so far in March. Like, I finished one book and I'm not even halfway through another chunky book, and I feel like I just need a boost for, like, productivity purposes. So let's see what I can fly through in this 24 hours. Rightio, good morning, friends. I clearly do not have the same ability to stay up and read all night that I once had, because I only managed to stay up till about 1:30, 1:45 last night, which is way earlier than I intended on going to bed. Like, I wanted to stay up and finish a book. Didn't happen. It got to about 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish, 1:45 maybe. And my eyes were physically stinging as I was reading, so I went to sleep. But, progress update. Before I did fall asleep, I got to page 87 in Bitter. I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the characters. It feels weird to say liking the world, but like liking the portrayal of the dangers of this world. I'm enjoying, like, each character's different reactions to those dangers and stuff. It, again, seems weird to say liking and enjoying, because, like, it's all about how awful the world is and how corrupt the world is, and there's violence and protests and brutality and all sorts of horrible things. But I just think it's really, again, weird adjective, but, like, nicely written. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. And it's nice to get more of an insight into Bitter's character, obviously, because in the first one, it's Jam's mum. Well, she's Jam's mum. But yeah, I'm going to carry on reading now. Hopefully I will finish this soon, so I can move on to other things. But yeah, it's about 8:30, so decently early, and I should now be able to stay awake for the rest of the time, unless something terrible happens and I need a nap. I have you really precariously balanced on my knee. Try not to fall off. But, hi. It is now 11:56. It's way later than I wanted it to be. We're like halfway through, and all I've managed to do is finish Bitter. But I did get some decent sleep in, and I feel like my reading pace will pick up more now that I'm awake properly anyway. But I have finished Bitter by Jadeyraereads. This was really good. If you didn't know, this is the prequel to Pet, which I read a couple of years ago and really enjoyed. I think this is better than Pet, and I really liked Pet, so I think that says a lot about this one. Yeah, I definitely think that this was better. I enjoyed it a whole lot. I don't know what it would be on Core Pile. I haven't Core Piled yet. Probably a 4-star. It feels pretty 4-star to me. It was really good, and having the backstory to Jam's parents is pretty sweet. But also, oh, Finn's scratching, which is jogging my knees, which is jogging you. But but also like having the context of how the world that we are familiar with from Pet came into being, like how that was created and the role that Bitter played in that, and how the angels and monsters shaped the world into what it is. It's one of those books where I feel like it's really good to go in not knowing a whole lot about the whole angels and monsters thing and kind of figuring it out with them. So I don't want to say too much, but I did really enjoy it. And if there were ever more stories that they decide to write from this, like, series, other perspectives would also be really good. Because there were certain characters in here, like Aloe, for example. I wouldn't have minded having perspectives from Aloe, and I do think in certain scenes maybe it was lacking that, because it's all from Bitter's perspective. So there are certain parts of the story that we kind of miss. So like something from Aloe's perspective would be cool. And even like some of the other kids in here, like Eddie and Alex and Blessing, like their stories would also be really fascinating. And Miss Virtue's story as well. I would read that. In fact, that's probably the one I would want the most. But I enjoyed it. Long story short, I had a good time. And I'm going to move on to my next read. From my stack of possibilities, can I get it without knocking you over? Well, I can try. Ha ha ha. From my stack of possibilities, my next read is going to be Hanako-kun Volume 6. I feel like breaking up books with some manga is a good idea, so I'm going to read this. It shouldn't take me too long because it is a manga, but I'm really enjoying the Hanako-kun series. Hanako-kun? Whichever way I pronounce it, I seem to be told I'm pronouncing it wrong. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that Hanako-kun series, so I'm gonna have a good time with this one. I've also got some medieval ambience going on in my AirPods, which I'm really enjoying at the minute. It seems to be like all I'm listening to is this medieval ambience. If I remember, I will link it down below. If not, it's the Medieval Lo-Fi 24/7 live stream. I'm having a good time listening to that. But yeah, I'm going to crack on and read this next. Apologies that you'll be able to hear the football in the background, but I have just finished Hanako-kun Volume 6. It took me less than an hour. It was very good, very confusing. Timey-wimey stuff in this one, which is interesting. But the way this has ended has made me want to pick up Volume 7 immediately. Debating it. But I think I'm going to go for Hex next, and then maybe pick up Hanako-kun 7 after this. We'll see how this goes. I don't know what I'm going to think of this, if I'm going to like it, if I'm not. I don't know. But so far so good with these. I've enjoyed both of them. I knew I would enjoy Hanako-kun, but that wasn't really questionable. But yeah, I'm gonna crack on with this one now. Hello. I am about halfway through Hex, and I thought I would give you a small update. The writing style, at first thought, was not quite... Sorry, my battery died. I think I was telling you that like the writing style at first didn't think like I didn't feel like, oh my god, I've just entirely forgotten how to speak. The writing style at first, I wasn't too sure about it. I wasn't too sure how I felt about it. I didn't know if I was gonna get it. But I feel like I've fallen into it fairly quickly. So now I am like going with the flow of it a bit better. The story itself is awful. But it's proving to be a good read. Another one where it's like, I weirdly don't want to say I'm enjoying it, but I am. It's hard, you know? It's a hard hitter so far. But yeah, I'm about halfway, so I'm gonna finish this one soon. But wow, my reading has not been going anywhere near as fast as I wanted it to. And then I've got Toilet Bound volume 7 to read when I finish that as well. And then we'll see where we're at. But yeah, that is the situation currently. I'm going to take my plaits out. Let's see how wild the hair is. Are you ready? Are you ready? At least it's all dry. God, look at how badly I need to redo that colour. Let's do this one. Both of the dogs are asleep again, which is great. Because Finn has just been running all over her. And she doesn't like it when he does that. There we go. Crazy curly hair. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go read some more. I will update you later. Oh, look at him playing FIFA over there. I have finished the book. It is done. That was really harrowing. Like, the book was very good. I enjoyed the book. But, like, the story is awful. And I just read the little bit at the back about the collection that this is from. This is one of the Darkland Tales collection. There's 3 of them, apparently. And it says, dramatic retellings. Each tale is sharp, provocative, and darkly comical. Which I felt weird about the fact that there were things in here that were funny. Because it shouldn't be, because it's awful. But some of the things that the 2 characters, like, said to each other to get through the pain, I think. Like, they kind of just threw in a couple of, like, terrible jokes to ease the pain, and I think that, like, darkly comic element was in there, which makes me feel better about the fact that I found parts of it funny. This was awful. Many content warning for that one, but I did actually enjoy it. I'm glad I've read it. But damn, I reckon that could very easily be a 5-star read. Because feeling, writing, like, it's based on a historical story. Yeah, a fictional retelling of the North Berwick witch trials. For anyone that doesn't know what this is about, a young girl is accused of witchcraft, and another woman from the future, like, travels back, almost like some sort of astral projection type thing, so that she's not alone the night of her death, and they kind of discuss all of the terrible things that happen to women for them to end up in the position that they are in, as it is the eve of her execution. But yeah, awful, but brilliant. And that is my 3rd book done. So this is my reading so far. I am now going to dive into the next toilet-bound Hanako-kun, because the ending of volume 6 got me very excited for volume 7. This one is very, very pink. That's upside down. Very, very pink. But I'm excited because the very last panel of volume 6 is something I need to know how we got to and how we're going to get from. So yeah, I'm going to read some more of this. Wasn't my plan to binge some Toilet Bound today, but it is what it is, so that's what I'm gonna do. But you know what, I'm really impressed with my reading so far today. It's all been very good quality so far. Rightio pals, the evening is getting on now. It is 20 to 6, but I have finished Toilet Bound Hanako-kun volume 7. I'm glad that I now know the thing from the end of volume 6. The end of this one is also very hooking for the next one, but not as hooking for me. Like, I'm slightly less invested in the character that the hook was for, so I'm less, like, immediately keen. I'm obviously still keen, but less immediately keen. So I'm not going to pick up volume 8 of this next. I'm going to pick up a book that will hopefully see me through the rest of the evening, and one that I'm very excited about and think that I'm going to love. So, fingers crossed for me. I'm going to read The Black Tongue Thief. This is like a proper sized book, you know. Obviously I've been reading manga and littler books, so we're going for a proper one to hopefully see me through the rest of the evening. I think this could potentially be one that I really enjoy. Of course I can't remember what it's about off the top of my head right now. Set in a world of goblin wars, stag-sized battle ravens, and assassins who kill with deadly tattoos. Kinch is the main character's name. Oh, Kinch owes the Takers Guild a fortune for his education as a thief, which includes lockpicking, knife fighting, wall scaling, fall breaking, lie weaving, trap making, and a few small magics. His debt has driven him to lie in wait by the old forest road, planning to rob the next traveller that crosses his path. But today, Kinch has picked the wrong mark. Galva is a knight, a survivor of the brutal goblin wars, and handmaiden of the goddess of death. She is searching for her queen, missing since a distant northern city fell to giants. Unsuccessful in his robbery and lucky to escape with his life, Kinch now finds his fate entangled with Galva's. Common enemies and uncommon dangers force thief and knight on an epic journey where goblins hunger for human flesh, krakens hunt in dark waters, and honour is a luxury few can afford. I had forgotten like most of that. I just knew that it was gonna be up my street. I'm very excited. And I do have the audiobook for this one as well, so I'm gonna pop the audiobook on and probably read along for a while. And maybe order food soon as well, because I am a hungry chicken. Hello, baby. Hello. Okay. Small update. There's not a chance in hell I'm going to finish this book before midnight, because I now need to take the dog back to my mum's. So that's going to take me like an hour. And the audiobook, when I've got it on double speed, is just over 6 hours long. It's now 6 o'clock because I had the phone call from my mum to say that I need to take the dog back. And I'm going to lose an hour by going to do that. I still need to have dinner. It's not going to happen unless I can somehow really get into it and speed it up. But I don't want to have to do that, you know? I don't want to rush it. So I'm probably not going to finish it, which sucks. We'll just see where we land. Howdy. Development. I've decided I don't like the audiobook for this at all. I have dropped the dog off. I tried listening to a little bit more. I'm like 5 chapters into this now, so still not very far. But yeah, I've decided that I do not like the audiobook. I'm not a fan of the narrator. And then I just spoke to Cece about it, who said that she's seen a lot of people say the audiobook isn't good, so maybe it's one I should read physically. So, on the basis that my eyes are tired, I don't want to read anything physically. I'm gonna temporarily put this down, which means it becomes one of my cursed books, sadly. But I will go back one day and read it physically, because I still do think I'm going to enjoy it. Just the audiobook is throwing me out entirely. Not enjoying that. So, I'm going to replace that now cursed book with another cursed book and dive into A Thunder of Monsters. I temporarily put this one down the other day because I was really not in the mood for middle grade after deciding to start it. But on the basis that it's an audiobook that I have already started a little bit of, and by a little bit I think, there we go, that's where I got to. I got to page 37. So I'm just going to continue this one, and hopefully I could finish this one tonight as well, because there was no chance of me finishing that. So let's try this. And also, we've ordered Chinese food, and it's here now. So I'm going to listen to my audiobook and eat my Chinese food. Let's go. Hello. Update. I finished A Thunder of Monsters by S.A. Patrick. It is done. However, I am so tired, I don't have any thoughts. So I don't want to just leave you with a useless update for no reason. But I just wanted to let you know I finished it. So I will come back in the morning for some final thoughts and a wrap up of my 24 hours. Because right now, all I want to do is go to sleep. I've got Jake asleep next to me. I've got Finn asleep next to me. I want to be asleep. So that's where I'm gonna go right now. And yeah, I'll give you my final thoughts and wrap up in a bit. Rightio friends, it is the next morning. I finished my book and went to bed last night, you know this. But I didn't have any thoughts last night, and I've kind of woken up this morning without any thoughts either. And I've been playing with this thought for a little while, and I think I really do just need to acknowledge it at the minute. I am not enjoying my middle grade reads as much as I used to at the minute. I think I'm just really not in a middle grade mood right now. So I finished A Thunder of Monsters. I loved the first 2 books in this, and this was just as good as those, but I am the problem here. I just didn't have as much fun as I did with the other ones, and I think it is entirely me. Like, I could have at any point happily just put this down and stopped reading it. Not because it's bad, because it's just as good as the others. I liked it. The content of it was fun, but I didn't have fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I read this last year, I feel like I would have had a much better time, and that's a me problem, not a book problem. But me and middle grades at the minute just don't seem to be getting on as well as we used to. So I think it might be time for me to just kind of have a pause from the middle grade. I'm not going to say, like, stop reading it. Obviously, I have a shit ton that I'm still excited to read eventually. But I think I just need to have a pause from it, which is a shame because they're really good for readathons. And I do have a lot of it that, like, I'm very excited about. Like, Vashti Hardy's one right here. I still haven't read Fire Song, but I don't want to read it when I'm not in the mood for middle grade, because, like, that's one of my favourite middle grade series. I've got the sci-fi middle grades that I want to read. I've got so many. But I do have to just be honest and acknowledge that I'm not enjoying them as much as I used to, which is a shame, but is what it is. So, bear with. Sorry, my books were in the other room, but there we go. Which order did I read these in? So, started with Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi, which is a middle grade, but a very different sort. Or is it YA? I don't know. Different vibe though, you know? And then I read Toilet Bound and a Cocoon, Volume 6. And then I read Hex. Then I read Toilet Bound, Volume 7. And then I read A Thunder of Monsters. So that was my 24-hour reading. That was it. Not as much as I wanted, I'm not going to lie to you. I slept more than I planned on, and then having the dogs just meant that I didn't get as much read as I would have wanted to because they needed more attention. And then needing to sort Willow out in the evening as well, taking her home, packing her up and stuff, was just like another couple of hours eaten out of my time. So I didn't get through as much as I wanted to. And this does always seem to be kind of a trend at this point. Whenever I say I'm going to do a 24-hour readathon, life is just like, no, you're busy now. But, you know, it's still a decent amount. And considering I'd only read one book in March, and now I've read 6, it's a win. It's a win. Page count-wise, I don't know how many that is. Let me just check my core pile. It was 1,151. Not bad, actually. 1,151 pages. Admittedly, 2 of those are middle grades. Middle grades? 2 of those are manga, but it's still over 1,000 pages in a day. So I need to stop beating myself up about that. It was a success! Yes. Anyway, it's now a new day. I'm going to go off and enjoy my new day. We're going to take Finn out to one of the National Trust parks and relax, I think, today is the main plan. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. If you have, give us a thumbs up, chat to me down below, all that good stuff. I feel like I haven't done a 24-hour reading vlog in a long time, so if you like the 24-hour reading vlogs, if you want to see me do them more often, let me know. If you prefer the weekly ones, or the weekend ones, or whatever, let me know. But yeah, I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye!